Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new series that I, Evergreen, will be starting. This new series is set in the game Stellaris, as you can clearly see. Stellaris is a sci-fi grand strategy game set many, many years in the future. It is developed by Paradox Development Studio and published by Paradox Interactive. Stellaris, as I'll show you, is a game where you can create an empire, advance across the stars, explore planets, construct stations, build warships, colonize planets, and much, much more. There are a great many things to do in Stellaris, so let's get into it. First, we'll start a new game, and we will be using the Silicon Defense System. Now, I previously pre-made this civilization, and I will be recording these videos for basically screenshots, video clips, and music and the like to be used on a new YouTube series, a second YouTube series that I've been planning to create that are narrative campaigns. And what I mean by that is telling a fantasy and sci-fi story using video games. For example, I want to tell the story of the Silicon Defense System, who they are, where they came from, where they're going, and all the many fantastic events in between, using art, video clips, and gameplay all in one video. That's the dream. That's the plan. So first, we're going to record a series of just pure gameplay. Is this gameplay going to be realistic, like a standard Stellaris game? No. Will there be cheats? Absolutely. This is purely a series for footage but also to have fun and to explore the game Stellaris with basically no drawbacks, no true challenge. Now, if you wanted a true challenge, I highly advise you go check out other gaming channels that have Stellaris on them. You won't find that here. However, if you do want to see me, Evergreen, do a actual Let's Play of Stellaris, please leave a comment down in the video, and the more comments we get, the more likely I'll be able to do it. Anyway, let's get started. So, first and foremost, there is a variety that goes into a species. I will help and show. So first, you have a variety of things on the left. Now, this might seem pretty intimidating at first when you first load in. It sure as hell did to me. There's species. You got to name it. There's a backstory for it. You have names, traits, and so on and so forth. I'll explain everything so far so you understand what I'm talking about. So first and foremost, you need a description or an appearance of your species. So we, in the Silicon Defense, will be using Machine Race. This one in particular, just a simple standard robot. Of course, you have the name, the plural, the adjective. Actually, now that I think about it, I think I'm just going to go to the Silicon Defense and edit it so I can show you. So we'll be using this, as I showed, species name, Silicon, Silicons, and Silicon is the adjective. The list of names, we'll be using Machine 1. As you can see, here are all the leaders' names, ship names, fleet names, and planet names. Traits. What traits we'll be using? Basically, to describe what traits are, they give you... basically, these are species bonuses. You can't have all of them. You can get more depending on the technologies you research. And obviously, it's different species of organic and machine. Those technologies differ. So what we'll be using is the machine. This species is made up of an executive terminals of single machine intelligence, originally built by organics. So this gives me 200% habitability, which basically means I can settle on any planet I wish. Happiness is not encountered because I don't actually have a population, and I am immortal. My pops, so to speak, my population lives forever, unless they have mechanical failure. We have logic engines, which basically gives us a 10% plus 10% bonus to all forms of research. You have mass-produced. Population assembly, basically having a population on a planet is increased by 15%. However, basically to show, you have trait points left and trait points to pick. Basically, this negative means you have to have a negative trait. you can't just have positives. Like, basically, the red is debuffs. These are buffs. So I picked bulky because this says pop housing usage 10% plus, which what that means is you have room on your planet for population. This means bulky, as in its name, means these are larger than standard robots, which means I have big, chunky robots. So less pops can fit in a standard area compared to normal. Of course, we have luxurious. Basically, pop assembly cost is plus 20%. So while we can mass produce our pops, they cost a little bit more than normal. Actually, a lot more. And then, last but not least, upkeep is 10%. So that means our population doesn't take as much money and resources to keep them running. That's our traits for this species. The name of our system, which really doesn't matter because we'll be on a birch world. But anyway, describe what a birch world is, which we'll get to that in a second. A birch world is a specialized type of shell world built around the largest black holes to allow for normal gravity at extreme land areas, several trillion planet surfaces. Local engineers and citizens can enjoy these land areas even more thanks to the fact that black holes used in large enough. I don't think the person who wrote this is very good with English. But you get the point. Basically, this is a massive construct. Massive, ginormous, larger than our entire solar system, probably. I'm not exactly sure on that number. But huge. Many, many, many times larger than Earth, than even our sun. And it's powered by a black hole inside. Anyway, then we go to city appearance. We've picked Machine City, obviously, because we are machines. Then we have our origin. Now, origins are basically kind of like, hey, this is your backstory with buffs. Now, standardly, when the game first came out, you would always start off with prosperous unification. Basically, as it says, though its strife and triumphs, this society has reached every young civilization's ambition, a homeworld with united goals and a path open to the stars. Every species had this origin start. But many people were like, well, that's boring. We have all that. Wouldn't it be great if you could start off with robots? Or maybe a Gaia world? Or maybe a tomb world where your thing got nuked? Maybe a ring world? Or, like ours, a birch world. So let's read the birch world. You are the remnants of a long-forgotten civilization living in the echoing expanse of a birch world at the galactic core, meaning center of the galaxy, built by your ancestors. You will start on a birch world isolated at the galactic core. Because this requires spawning the core after galaxy generation, you will actually move there just before the game starts, so you will maintain the knowledge of your original home cluster. The birch world was designed for a much larger population, so you need to do some job management to start to survive. This is not balanced in the slightest if you do a multiplayer game. It's not balanced in the slightest in a single-player game like we're going to be playing. You're going to get a massive boost to start. Anyway, for our government and ethics, our ethics is basically gestalt consciousness. Basically, we are a single machine mind rather than many, many, many machines. And I've decided to go for Rapid Replicator. So basically, our population gets built another 20% faster. And of course, Warbots. Damage and army upkeep is... we got some buffs to that. Of course, I'm doing this Warbots and Replicator to kind of role play in the sense of the Silicon defense system. Since these are supposed to be a AI bent on defending their creators. Though, of course, because it's a birch world, we don't know where they went. Advisor name, advisor voice, basically whatever your advisor's name, advisor voice sounds like. So we're going to be going with the machine voice, which sounds like this.
Self-destruct sequence initiated.
So you
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Boom! Anyway, then we have empire name. This is where you just name your empire. Then you pick your flag, which is this lovely thing up here. This is what I've decided to go with. I thought it looked very militaristic and kind of evil looking. Then you have your ship appearance. There is a variety of things. Of course, we'll be going with the machine ship appearance. So this is your standard Corvette. And this is a Juggernaut, a massive mothership classification of ship. Very, very powerful. And of course, our ruler. Basically, you can change the background, the colors, name it, etc., etc. Anyway, let's get into a match. So we'll be doing this on the largest galaxy size possible, which is 100 system, or 1,000 systems. There are a variety of shapes and galaxy shape, but we'll be doing elliptical. We'll make it 12 AI empires. 3 of them will have advanced starts, so basically advanced technology, early game. Fallen empires will be 5. Marauder empires will be 3. Tech costs, so we don't make this incredibly hard on ourselves, will be at the lowest. Primitive civilizations will be common. The crisis strength, however, will be ginormously powerful. Absolutely 25 times in strength. And the reason why I'm doing this is the final endgame boss. They will be the group that we have to put on our big boy pants and take the gloves off and go kick some ass. Because if they don't, they will absolutely crush us. Of course, what the crisis will be, we're leaving it random. We are going to stretch out the in-game year, though, to 2060 or 2600. The mid-game start year will be 2300. Victory year is going to be off. Difficulty will be minimum, so we have a decent difficulty. While this is the difficulty does technically tweak, that's only, at least as far as I'm aware, only for the AI, not the crisis. You jack the crisis strength up, that's not 25% times the difficulty of cadet. No, it's evil. Scaling difficulty is off. I don't know what this means. AI aggressiveness will be normal. Empire placements will be random. Advanced neighbors is going to be off because I don't really care. I'm at the center of the universe. Hyperlane density, we're just going to leave it at minimum. I like a pretty sparse galaxy, if I'm going to be honest. Abandoned gateways and wormhole pairs, I'll get into what these are later. Just leave them at 1. 2, guaranteed habitable worlds, I'll do 2. Caravanners, which is basically traveling merchants, we'll leave those on. Xenocompatibility, basically cross-rating between species, I'll allow it because I don't really care. It's none of my business what other people do. And then I don't know what these 2 do, but they're from the new update. Anyway, so I already have a game started, but I just wanted to show you my species that I'll be using. Silicon Defense System. Let's load the latest save. That's a cool shot. I mean, look at that. That's awesome. That's a mega structure, by the way. Anyway, here we are. So I kind of started this to get my species already set up, get all the leaders I would possibly need. A lot of them. This is not normal in the slightest. Also, as you can clearly see, I have all my resources maxed out due to cheats. And I got these, well, from cheating. So yes, this is not meant to be any form of realistic playthrough. This is purely for footage, which is what we're doing now. So I'm going to set a timer so I can have a realistic amount of footage for the beginning. We're going to go for, already other than what we have, we're going to go for an hour and 30 minutes. No, we'll just go for an hour. We'll do hour increments, more or less. Anyway, starting timer. Oh, shoot. I dropped me pen. Anyway, so here's our birch world. Nice and pretty. All around the galactic core. We have a single planet in system, which is the edge of eternity, a massive ocean world in the center of the galaxy. So here's the galactic map. Here's where we would have started had it been a realistic playthrough where I wasn't using the galactic core. Here's our galaxy. Back to the galactic core. So we're kind of cut off. We can't, at the moment, we cannot currently leave. We cannot go outside into the other galaxy. However, there's a special project that allows us to do that. But that would require time and science. So we currently have some technology being researched, which is we have our scientists researching these technologies. If you do not have a leader, which is scientists, in these slots, they will not research. So again, let's look at our leaders. So basically, governors, they are a leader. They allow you to lead your people, so to speak. Basically be in charge of a planet. They're a sub-leader. Then you have your scientists for a variety of things. You can stick them into your technology thing, where you can see here, or you can stick them onto science ships. And these science ships can go around. For example, I'll show you now. This is my science ship. And we are going to survey. So you can go to a system and just move there, move your ship there, or you can survey the system and you can basically explore it, if that makes sense. Basically find all the minerals, the energy, any special projects that might be there, and then it moves on to the next system. So we're going to set an exploration path, so to speak. We're going to set this up, and we're just going to go out to here. Then we're gonna leave our construction ship here for now. Actually, we'll move it to the let's see here. We'll move it to the jump point here. And basically, what a construction ship does is once you've surveyed a system, you can build, as it shows. That's microstructure. Nope. Mining station. A starbase. You'll be able to build a outpost in a system, which gives you, it basically claims that system for your territory. Now, of course, since I'm at the center of the galaxy, I really couldn't care less who has the territory. In fact, I think I have it all claimed myself. But if you're out here and you try to get to a point, like, say, for example, there's an alien species right here. And you get all these systems, and you try to build one here to block off their advance into other sections of space. Basically, you want to build star bases at kind of like transit points, busy highways of hyperspace lanes, if that makes sense. But since we're at the core, this is all our free real estate, so to speak. And once you claim a system by building a starbase at the center, which it would be here at the center of the star system at this tertiary, I think is what it's called, a tertiary star system, meaning 3 stars. You will then, if there are resources in that system for different spatial bodies, they will build either a mining station or a research station to gain the bonuses from that planet. There's also a observational post, which basically you can build on top of primitive planets to study primitive technologies. Basically kind of like what people would say about Area 51 and all that, and all the UFO sightings. Aliens studying us, Earth. Well, same concept. And then, of course, we'll get into megastructures later, which this is crazy. And this button is fleet stance. Basically, you have evasive. If any fleet or enemy contact enters the system in any way, shape, or form, this will be a hasty retreat to the edge or just jump, emergency jump. Of course, you can have passive, which basically means it will just sit there and eat bullets until it dies. We're going to keep all our ships on evasive so we don't lose anything. What else is there? I won't be using claims, not yet, until we meet a alien civilization where I want to claim their space for our own. Factions only really exist in non-gestalt conscious or hive species. This basically means you have different factions of government that might have missions or different ideals that they want implemented in that government. I also believe factions are very common in democratic or a republic type nation. They're much less likely in a dictatorship or an imperial type with like a king or an emperor. Still exists though, but they're not as common. So factions won't be playing a part in our Let's Play. Of course, you've already shown you technology. Fleet Manager, this basically you can click on a fleet, which we have named the Home Fleet, and you can reinforce them, cause basically a bunch of buttons to micromanage your fleet from a window. However, I personally don't use this. I just go to the fleet, click on it, and micromanage it through the actual menu. Then you have ship design, which we have only Corvettes at the time. They carry 2 small mass drivers and 1 small red laser. They're currently mounted with fission reactors, nuclear reactors to be precise, a hyperdrive 1, chemical thrusters, basically rocket thrusters. We have radar, and then we have a basic combat computer, basically stuff that we would have like today. Of course, we have small nanocomposite armor, basically just standard metal armor, and then we have 2 small deflectors, 2 small shield generators. This is our ship. You have its stats on the side, its production ability, the time it takes, the money, or the upkeep, and the cost to build just one of these. Currently have 3 of them at the moment. Then you have defense platforms. Defense platforms come in a variety of abilities. As you can see, if you just decide to make a new design for ships, you have different hulls. If that makes sense. So we're currently using the interceptor hull. But if we wanted to have a missile boat or a picket ship, you would pick one of these for their different weapons developments. Now, I should also mention, the different, for larger ships that come in multiple pieces, so you'll have different sections. I believe the utility slots don't change per section, but it's the weapon slots that change. But we're going to stick with the interceptor ship because that's the most, that's the one I like personally. The best one is probably the missile boat. Yeah, having a missile slot for Corvettes early on, and especially late game where you can spam out these powerful little boats, and they're relatively cheap with basically high punch but low cost, even though they don't have a huge amount of health. They're very powerful if you want the meta, so to speak. Picket ships are pretty terrible because point defense in this game isn't the greatest. While I will use it, a picket ship, in truth, is only effective on something like the size of a destroyer. A Corvette, kind of terrible. And it's not even good at early game. You would be much better off being able to deal damage because most factions don't have fighter technology at low tier. It's only towards higher tier where you have destroyers and cruisers, which is why I say having destroyers as your picket ships makes much more sense. Though we'll be sticking with interceptor because it's just what I like. Anyway, then we have defense platforms. Defense platforms can be built around only star bases, which you have to upgrade an outpost to a star base to build these. Or no, I'm sorry. You can build these around outposts all you want. However, I normally build them around only star bases because, I don't know, it's what I like to do. So you can have a picket point defense station, light weapon batteries, medium weapon batteries, missile weapon batteries, large weapon batteries, and hangars for fighter craft. We'll go over what we have. So we have the protector, medium batteries, both mass drivers and lasers. And then we have our standard shields and armor, which as you'll notice, the primary thing I go for is shields rather than armor. Of course, this is at beginning game, so many of these technologies are very starter, very basic. We'll get in, once we get better technologies, you'll start seeing these stations and ships really take off. Next, we have the Castle class defense platform, which carries 4 nuclear weapons. Now later, what I like to do is have standard missile weaponry and then torpedoes, because torpedoes is really where you do your chunk damage, your massive amounts of damage, while still having fast, capable interceptor missiles, I'll call just regular missiles. But so far, since we don't have that technology, we'll just be doing 4 nuclear missile tech, which is regular tech, by the way. And then last but not least, we have the Hive class, which is simply just hangars. We have scout wings, which are basically small scout fighters that don't do a huge amount of damage, but they're very good early game. Anyway, we have Society, which I've picked my traditions, which give you basically buffs. Now, the way you get these is you have Unity, which you generate. Now, I've used cheats to gain all this Unity, and I picked them out, and also I've used the cheat to get all my Ascension perks, as you can clearly see. And the reason why I do this is because, well, I mean, for this series, I kind of thought to myself, we live on a Birch world where technology that our masters created was so magnificent and powerful. How could we not have all our traditions unlocked, our abilities to understand the universe? However, one thing that we do not have is we've had a lapse in technology. Now, in the actual series that I plan on making, the narrative campaign, I will explain the reason why that is. But for now, that's just the gameplay reason. We have edicts, which actually I'm going to use. We have a resource called nanites, which we will give a 10% research buff, which is fantastic. We are not going to do many of the other ones. We'll do research subsidies, which basically means more energy for more research. We'll do Map the Stars for faster survey speed, is probably what I'm there for, but Anomaly Discovery Chance is good. And what else? Birch World Migration, I don't care. Okay, that's all we're going to be doing for now. We'll come back later. Anyway, this is our policies, basically how our species functions. We'll do Expansionist. Unrestricted wars. We can't, for some reason, use our war doctrine. I don't know why. Subjugation terms, we will do balanced. Because, I don't know. We're not here to oppress civilizations that we take over. We're here for more... We're here to vibe. Yeah, we'll go with balance. And then we'll do orbital bombardment. We will do an indiscriminate because we are far more about what could we do? No, we'll do indiscriminate. First contact will be cautious. Border status will be closed. Production policy, purge allowed. All right, fantastic. Expansion planner. I don't understand how this works. So we're going to ignore it because I don't ever need it. Planets and sectors, I've never understood how this worked, nor do I care. Market, I rarely use this. It's basically just, hey, I give you free shit, or not free shit, but if you give me this, I'll give you that. I don't really ever use it because cheats are fun. Then you have your situation log, which basically means any major event, which could be event chains, anomalies. Well, anomalies will be under the anomaly tree, but this is here our victory. Basically, at the end, this for a regular game, if you want to be the victor of that game, so to speak, you want to be number 1. And, of course, you have a score. Now, we're number 6 because we're awesome, and also, I'm kind of cheating. But we'll want to be number 1 by the end of this. But for now, we really don't have anything at the moment. We're not going to do this because we want to get some decent technology before we research this. And also, before I ever research this, I want to basically survey all the systems in this space before moving out into the galaxy as a whole. And then you have contacts, which basically this is you can have agreements. This is your contacts tab, and this is your agreements tab. No, this is currently blocked because we haven't met anybody. But in here you can do diplomacy, which is talk to other alien species that you meet, and also conduct espionage. Now, I don't since espionage is something new with the recent update called Overlord, if you want to know more about it, go check it out under Steam or just Google Stellaris Overlord, and you'll get a pretty good description. So we'll figure this out later. Yes. So let's get into it. Our planet. Assign a leader. Boom. There's our leader. So here's our planet, basically, menu. So our leader that we have currently gives another 10% bonus to research across the planet, which is fantastic, which means we're going to get massive amounts of bonuses. Now here's what we're going to do, because I'm a bad person and I like to cheat. We're going to make the planet size, which doesn't affect the in-game model, 100. Now, the planet size basically gives us districts. As you can see, size equals district. Now, you can clearly see this didn't change. It didn't change one bit. Also, I've never been inside this before. And they're inside the black hole. For most planets, if I decided to make this, which I actually am going to, planet size 50. Boom! Did you see that? Just exploded. Now it's a much bigger planet. Now you might be thinking, how does a planet stay in I forget the word. Basically in orbit around a birch world. I have no idea. This makes no sense, but it's a video game, so who cares? But yeah, there's different commands that you can do. You can populate planets, turn them into different classes. Like, for example, this is a penthelastic world, basically completely covered in water. There's continental worlds, tropical worlds, Arctic worlds, machine planet world, Gaia world, all kinds of different planet types that give different bonuses. Or perhaps you're looking for a specific planet type because that's the one that your species spawn from. For example, if you decided to play a more human, actually if you decided to play the human species, you would pick Earth, which that is a possibility. You could play in the Sol system. So it has Venus, Mercury, Mars, Earth, etc., etc., etc. And you would, if you wanted to be as realistic as possible, you could make Earth, make humans a continental world, preferenced world. So basically what that means is different planets across the major galaxy as a whole, you would have a habitability towards continental worlds. Now, it doesn't mean you can't settle other worlds. It's just you're extra happy on a continental world because it's just like home. So yeah, there's a lot of minutia and things in this game. A lot of knowledge that you need to know that you'll pick up pretty fast once you start. By the way, the art in this game is awesome. It is super cool. Anyway, we have our machine world, our machine capital, the birch world, which we need to start building stuff. So we currently have the administrative array, basically our capital building. We have our machine assembly plant to build more pops. So let's see here. What can we get? Well, first and foremost, let's get a buff towards research. So let's build 2 research labs. And let's build a simulation site. Just for more unity. These are decisions. Basically, you can... just decisions for a planet, as you can clearly read them. And you can resettle. These are all our jobs that are currently not being filled. So there's different things to... so this is your building, as I showed. These are your districts that can give you different buffs, but you have to spend money, which for this, a large amount of money. For all kinds of stuff. So let's look at this real quick. Produces that. Produces that. I'm going to build one of these. Let's cheat again, because I'm a bad person. Sweet. Oh, damn. Can't build that. Alright, that's fine. Anyway, we have our population, basically seeing what jobs we're doing. We have menial jobs. We have complex drone jobs. We have all kinds of jobs that are crazy. We're assembling at the current moment. This is showing what we're our boost to creation of a new pop. And yeah, then we have our armies tab, which we do need to do. We're going to make, at the moment, 29 hunter-killer armies, which basically what it does is you have your standard armies. So we don't have any garrisons, and at the moment, which is defense armies. Basically, you have an army, you land it on a planet, and this takes over the planet, so to speak. But of course, if you have a garrison, a defense, they can, at least for a time, prevent an invading army from taking over your planet and claiming the planet for theirs. This is kind of like a way to claim planets. So we're making 30. Well, technically, what we're trying to do is make 30. We can only make 29. You can your army recruitment level, at least for type, which, for example, there's hunter-killer armies, there's battle forms, and mega forms, I think, for robots. Their number is limited to the pops you have on the planet making. So, for example, we have 29. We're making 29. And then holdings. I don't know what this means. Next. Let's see here. We have our shipyard. We need to do some stuff here. You have your modules. You can build all sorts of things. Since this is our single system, we're going to make it our major shipyard. And then we have an service imbiblicals. I don't know how to do English. Anyway, next. This basically gives power and alloys reduction for basically the fleet being docked. So anyway, we're going to build some defense platforms. We're going to build 4 protectors, 4 castle, and 1 hive. When this is all built, we will be extremely powerful station. Now, a station in and of itself, which if we can go to the details, is pretty equipped. I take that back. This thing sucks. It has a lot of shields. It has a lot of armor. But it really can't shoot and defend itself. It has 2 medium mass drivers and a single nuclear missile launcher. When you have all of these defense platforms, which I showed you in the designer, which can grow more powerful with the newer technology that you can gain, these things can become monsters that you would need several multi-K fleet powers to take, multiple fleets with high fleet power to take down, because they're practically one themselves. But for the moment, we don't really have that. But because we have unlimited resources, as long as I'm around, we're going to have a pretty powerful species. Now here's our fleet. Pretty shit. Pretty not so powerful. We're going to set this as our home station, and we're going to enter orbit. And we also do need to upgrade them because they're no longer the Exterminator class corvettes. They are the Dagger. Just basically change the name and change the name. Yes, so that's basically it. Let's get started. Let the games begin.
Ship augmentations completed.
Fantastic. Fleet augmentations
Situation
completed.
log adjusted.
Ooh. First technology already completed. We have a new form of fighter craft. We're gonna make building corvettes faster. So let's look here. We got a group of situations. Now these don't really do anything unless you find like crippled ships out in the void. So that's that. But anyway, the technology that we just researched, I kind of blew by it. So let's go look at it. Here it is. Carrier operations. These manned strike craft are launched from a mothership and rely on their speed and small size to survive long enough to punch through enemy defenses. So we get basic strike craft, we get planetary defense hangars, and we get hangar base. So, yeah. Which we're going to immediately go upgrade. Because like I said, with the Hive class ship, you only get scout wings. Now we can upgrade them with basic strike craft, which these, let me show you. These, it's not giving the stats for some reason. Oh, here we go. These, compared to these, are much weaker. Basically damage 4 to 8. These are 4 to 10. Let's see here. Tracking. Basically, the stats are completely better than the standard. Not by much, but enough. Anyway, we're going to go to our shipyard, and we're going to cancel that real quick and build a new one. Did that work? All right, great. Alrighty. So, since we just have our construction ship chilling here, which let's zoom in on him. Let's give him a little look. Looksy-do. Cool little construction ship. Just chilling. And we shall wait for the next major
Technological acquisition successful.
Another technology. So I should mention, this is crazy amount of research for the beginning because we cheated. But, and let's make it even crazier with another +5 because of research. A research technology.
Technological acquisition successful.
Yeah, we're burning through these like crazy. All right, what's the next thing we should do? Let's do corvettes that last longer. That would be great.
Technological acquisition successful.
At one time. Wow. What else should we do? Let's get global energy management. Actually, I think from now on, I'm going to read what these technologies are just to give you an idea of what we're doing. So this one is load balancing facilities can greatly improve the stability of local grids and feed excess power back into central capacitors. So basically, less energy is wasted. And then this research we just researched, which was biodiversity studies, studying the different forms of life that appear on our world helps us better understand ourselves and the life that surrounds us. Absolutely. Very true. I think we're going to do just a kind of throwaway technologies at the moment since we don't eat food, even though we have a shit ton of it. Yes. We're going to do hydroponic farming. Hydroponics farming is in a controlled environment, allows for crops to be grown in climates where farming would normally be impossible. Space. You know?
Anomalous surface variable detected.
So here's our first anomaly. Anomalies, in a nutshell, is basically random events that occur in different systems. So as you can clearly see, this planet here holds an anomaly. Now, because I want this science ship to hurry the fuck up, we're going to have him ignore that anomaly, and I'm going to send a actual anomaly research ship to do that. But of course, I completely forgot to mention on the starbase, because I'm a dingleberry. Here is our shipyard construction menu. Along here will be the ships, basically by the ship's designer. You will be allowed to design all kinds of ships, from corvettes to battleships, and construction ships, colony ships to basically construction ships, as I said before, build stations and mining stations. Colony ships allow you to colonize planets, and science ships to explore. Now, we need more science ships at the moment because we have a shit ton of leaders just chilling. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10. So we need to build 10 science ships. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Voila. Also, for so basically to describe something, my plan. So because this is our starting system, and I've played this before, I already know that the lines linking us back to the galaxy is going to be from here, here, and here to the rest of the galaxy. That means 3 different major scientists going in different directions. Now, because of that, we already have 1 constructor ship, so we're going to build 3 more for those each individual directions. And of course, the other science ships for a variety of tasks. Ooh, another technology. Ooh, improve corvette hulls. Advances in building techniques will allow for construction of sturdier, more durable corvettes. Fantastic. Our corvettes can last longer under fire. Let's do some more technologies. Ooh, nanomechanics. Buffs to research. Advanced instrumentation allows for the study and practical applications of physical systems at nanometric scales. Sounds interesting. And let's keep going. Ooh. Here's our army, by the way.
Successful.
Let's get our general on that. Oh, I completely forgot. Here is our leaders tab. Of course, each leader has their buff. As I showed you, you have analytical, a trait for a leader that gives buffs to science. We have our individual scientists that have spark of genius, which is 10% research. You have archaeologist, archaeology excavation speed, which basically is kind of like a track event, multiple sections of an event along the way, an event chain of sorts, but it's an excavation of an archaeology site. So, kind of like tells a story. These, however, you excavate it 25% faster. We have a couple of those. Then we have Carefree, Anomaly Research, plus 35%, which is what we're going to be using to research anomalies on these 3 new science ships. We have Meticulous, Anomaly Discovery Chance, plus 10%. This helps us find these anomalies, which I'm going to go use one of these guys to find. Or, not to find. These guys are much better at finding them. These are much better at researching them and getting them finished faster. And last, but not least, we have Catogler. I'm not sure. Oh, Cataloger. I can't read. Can't speak either. These help science ships survey systems 25% faster. Then you have admirals that have different buffs among themselves. Let's see here. Ooh. These are interesting. Let's look around. Inspirational, ambusher. Interesting. The reason why you're seeing these purple type of traits is because I have a special edict called here it is, Art of War. Basically, it allows enables a new set of special admiral leader traits, and these are also for army generals. So our admiral has unyielding. This leader refuses to even consider the possibility of retreat when battle has been joined, preferring to fight instead to fight to the death if necessary. If we're a defense system, that is definitely what we here, the robots, are for, to defend organics to the death, regardless of our safety. After all, we are machines. Now, my thing to you viewers is, what does that mean now when there is nothing else to protect? And of course, we have decisive, which is a very good trait. The worst calamities that befall an army arise from hesitation. Nope, we will be decisive and hit the enemy and destroy him. But of course, we have our general. He has demoralizer. This leader is fascinated by the fragile minds of organics and how they can most efficiently be broken through the creative use of terror tactics on the battlefield. Now, personally, I like Butcher, but I can't really find one. Actually, you know what? Let's go find one. I want to particularly read that one. Demoralizer. Don't want them. Ah, here we go. What do you have? Enigma. Ooh, I like this one. We're keeping you. Get rid of the rest of them. Where's our army? There you go. And then let's use this cheat to max him out so he's super overpowered. So Butcher. This is my favorite because army damage is amazing. Butcher. This leader particularly skilled at inflicting casualties on the enemy, offering no quarter and expecting none in return. For a defense system, that is definitely what you want to do when destroying an enemy. And of course, Enigma. Let your plans be dark and impenetrable as the night, and when you move, fall like a thunderbolt. I love that. That's a quote right there. Damn. Anyway, we'll get rid of that. All right, our next technologies. Think for research purposes, so we have even more and more research. We're going to do zero-G laboratories. A lot of critical research can only be done in a zero-gravity environment, which these specialized laboratories are eminently designed for. Oh, I completely forgot to mention. So you have physics research, society research, and engineering research. Society research is for like politics and your society as a whole, basically, as it says, society research. Then you have physics research for bigger and better technologies that for science. And then you have engineering research for the mechanical stuff, for buildings. I mean, buildings can be through all of these, but these are probably for weapons and spaceships and all that jazz. Anyway, let us go to our previous research, which was nanomechanics. And let's pick another one. Planetary build speed. We definitely need that right now. Planetary build speed, plus 25%. Rapid iteration in construction simulations determines the optimal component assembly patterns for each building project ahead of time. We should do that today. I think we do that today. Anyway, let's equip our science ships. Let's do our Mr. Anomaly Researcher, and we're going to send it and research the anomaly in this system. On our next science ship, we're going to be doing, let's see here. We'll do Meticulous. I want to find more anomalies. We're going to send him down here. Survey system. Actually, now that I think about it, let's see here. Survey system. Did I do this? I'm sorry. I have a scatterbrain and I forget the things I do. Go down here, survey this system, come up here, survey this system, and then come back around and survey that system. And of course, our third and last science ship, we'll have our cartographer. He's going to move to this system here, survey this system, and come to a stop at this black hole system. Let us go.
Technological acquisition successful.
More technology. All right, what's the next thing that we might want to do? Well, we have a planet over here, so I think that would probably be important. So let's do colony fabrication drones, 50% development speed. So basically, once you colonize a planet, it takes like a minute for you to research. With this technology, 50% faster. Fleets of small but efficient construction drones that are stored in the cargo bays of colony ships. Once activated on a planetary surface, they greatly speed up the initial settlement process. Interesting. We're going to ignore this ascension theory because all this really does is unlock, let's see here, more of these, even though we have them all, unlocked. Technology. Unity ambitions? Not interested. Anyway, we're going to do eco simulations. Basically, I'm getting these out of the way because they're easy, fast research that doesn't take too long. Farming techniques can be further refined through sophisticated computer simulations of different environments and weather patterns. This allows for more predictable crop yield. I think we do that today as well. Well, no, we're fine.
Technological acquisition successful.
Another thing. Let's, they're researching that, I'm assuming. That's finished. Let's do zero-G refineries. Addition of internal refineries on mining stations will substantially increase mining production. I like the sound of that. We're going to have you research it because it doesn't take all that time. New science ships.
Technological acquisition successful.
Lots of events just occurred. All right, hold on. Let's do technology first. Get this out of the way. We'll do field modulation. Modulate fields allow for increased production and improve energy yields. I like that. Anyway, Edict Monolithic. This is like the ending of an event. Basically, you'll get that original event pop up to say, hey, researchers don't research this for different events. And then once you finish them, this pops up, the kind of event concluder, which can lead to a variety of things. This planet is uninhabited and indeed uninhabitable, but not unvisited. Its surface is littered with tall cenotaphs carved from some mineral not native to the planet, evidently placed here by some artistically inclined spacefaring race. The monolith's flowing lines deftly chart a history so fantastical it must surely be fiction. Surely. Image them for the archives. Engineering research gained is basically a number. Basically describe this. You have engineering points. That's not it. Engineering points up here. This is what, basically, this is your engineering that you gain per tick. And then events give you a huge chunk. That is not my technology screen. That allow you to basically burst through technologies. So boom, that'll probably give us an instant finish on this engineering technology. Anyway, terraforming candidate discovered. Our detailed survey of this planet has revealed that it may once have supported life in the distant past. Ooh, interesting, like Mars, supposedly. There are significant deposits of frozen water at the polar ice caps and beneath the planet's surface. The existence of valley networks suggests that water may have once flowed freely. Terraforming this planet would theoretically be possible, but we do not yet possess the technology to accomplish this monumental task within a realistic time frame. Awesome. What planet is that?
Technological acquisition successful.
Pause. Oop. Contact reports. Remnants. We have confirmed the first material traces of alien life on a foreign world. Fantastic. So we
Anomalous surface variable
cease.
detected.
I don't care.
Technological acquisition successful.
So this is basically an event that allows you to terraform random planets. Now later, when we have the technology, we can terraform as many planets of different types whenever we want. But this one is kind of like a free, hey, have a free terraform button. This is already being researched. I just clicked on that, you dingleberry. All right, that finished. Ooh, assembly, pop assembly is important. Micro replicators. Microscopic tools that can assist our replication units in creating the more complex circuitry needed for new drones. And then we'll do let's do volatile material plants. Aside from the obvious safety concerns, the artificial creation of volatile motes is an extremely delicate and complicated process that requires highly specialized equipment. So basically describe resources. You have volatile motes. Basically kind of like, I would say, explosive gas. It's very dangerous to harvest. And if anything bad happens, like gas, it can explode. Then you have exotic gases, which is basically like a gas. Nothing really super terrible, like you can die from it. But it's just a resource in the game. So you have volatile motes, exotic gas, rare crystals, living metal, zero, dark matter, nanites, minor artifacts, words are hard. Crystals, the iodine crystals. I'm just going to call them that and move on. Planetary mass, quasaric energy, psionic sublimate, negative mass, sentient metal, oh my, and then super tensile materials. Okay. Suppose I should talk about the rest of this. This is my empire size. If you go over this empire size, I believe, it starts to have negative consequences. You have your envoys. How many envoys currently have assignments, which we have a total of 7 available. Here's our population number. Here's our starbase capacity, which with technologies can grow. Basically, how many of... So you'll see in certain systems, you'll have this system. It says you have a station here, a starbase, so to speak. Basically, what that means is once I build a starbase here, it'll claim the system. But then you can go into the menu here, and you can upgrade it to a starhold, or I'm sorry, to a station, rather than it just being a simple outpost, which allows you to build all the modules and buildings and on it, and allow more defense platforms. And if you have shipyards, by building the Starbase's shipyards, you can build ships there. You don't have to, but that is something you can do. I completely forgot the whole point. Oh yeah, Starbase capacity. So basically, these are Starbases. Basically, upgrading any form of outpost to a Starbase fills up this slot. Now, I could upgrade this to a Starhold, to a Citadel, etc. It would not increase the Starbase capacity in any way, shape, or form, but it does take up the Starbase capacity because you upgraded it from an outpost to a Starbase. And then this is the naval capacity of how many ships you can have at one time. At all, total. Of course, there is fleet capacity. If you go to your fleet, this shows how many ships you can have at one time. I think that's pretty much it. Anyway, let's keep going. We'll just have these guys chill. Oh, I know a perfect idea for you. Let's go to these guys, since they're not going to really doing anything. Assist in research, basically giving research bonuses to the ground below. Oh, free constructor ship. We're just going to send him nice and pretty down here. A bunch of science ships that we are not using. Oh my goodness. Alright, we're just gonna start sending you places to get you out of the main system. Just get you away from space. Oh shit. Let's get rid of all these science ships so our main home world isn't cluttered with useless stuff. To orbit. No, stop it. Last but not least, our last one, which will be the last one we need built. Send here. Alright, fantastic. All our ships in the main thing are leaving, more or less. Oh, as you can clearly see, solar extinguisher. We'll get to that event in a second. So as you can clearly see, our fleet power for our station here originally started off at, well, roughly 900, a little over, in terms of fleet power. Now, from just 3 stations, it is now up to nearly double that. See, that's the power of defense stations. Their meant is to buff the combat ability of any star base or outpost that you have.